I'm so happy to be here because I'm part of those that feeling that the new generation is kind of give us light. And I call you as the shining generation because I understand that we are in a time what have a lot of challenge in front of us. But the new generation, but mostly the black one, women and men, young people, have to understand a lot of things in a very few little time. And thinking in my experience, I saw you with these characteristics that I understand that have to be the characteristics of a leader. The first one, because when I try to think in my own story, I think in which is the difference between me and others. And when I'm here, and that's why I'm so happy to be part of this amazing space. You have an amazing space, an amazing institution, a lot of programs, a lot of opportunities. When I see this space, I dream we need something like that in Latin America. But thinking in my own experience and seeing you and your work, I feel which is the difference, the main difference. First of all, when we are when we try to see our life, we put in our mind a vision, what we want to do, the dream that we have. This is one of the most important characteristics of the leaders. Have a vision. You know that the dream is there. And what kind of dream are you walking for? The second thing, and when I saw that you are working in different areas, this is which is my mission. I have the vision, because when I joined, I have this vision of justice and equality for all. And I'm involved in different organizations, in student organization when I was a university student, but also organization in the communities, environmental organization, and of course, when I was young, I create women organization because we have to fight a lot to be treated as equal. But the second thing, it is that, which is my mission to achieve the vision, my dream, which is the tool, the way that I want to use. And that's why I've been an activist, a women activist, a justice activist. I fight since I remember for rights for different groups of people, not only for me, because I think that the most important thing is that we have to take in mind our own goals, but also understanding that we are part of a community. Part of a community. All the work that we are doing is not only for us. We are making a difference for the community that we are part. The third characteristic that I understand in my own experience, the first is vision, the third is mission, which is the tools that we use, but the third is knowledge. And I understand that here, you coming to have knowledge to do the right and the things that you want to do professionally. And this is so important because a lot of people understand, I want to be there, but they don't want to educate themselves. And this is the third one that I understand. The fourth one, it is discipline. I understand that we have to use all the possibilities that we have to have more and more knowledge. And the knowledge is until we die. Always we can learn more and more. But without discipline, it's almost impossible to achieve anything. The fifth one characteristic, it is passion. We have to make all the thing with passion. That thing that give us energy. And I feel that when I see my career as an activist, as a politician in my country, when I was congresswoman, for example, or leader of NGO, an organization, my organization, the Center of Black Women in Costa Rica, or even vice president of my country. I feel that one of my soul is engaged with passion, because I do my work with this kind of giving more than that we can. And the sixth one, it is compassion. Because all the work, if we try to understand that we are making a change, we start with us, and we want to make this for a group more than us, for our family, for our community, for our country, but we have to put in the feet of others. Without compassion, our mission is nothing. This is in the sense of Ubuntu sense. The Ubuntu, to be part of a community. And the last, I understand that if you want to do something bigger in your life, you have to work as a part of a team. It is impossible to achieve anything isolated. You need to understand yourself as a part of the community, of a team, working together, and with a sense more cooperative than competition. Because in competition, you want to always to win something. And because of that, you could hurt different person in your way. But if you think about that, we don't have to achieve only our own win, but thinking together, we need a team. And this is the sense that I want to share with you, because we have to understand us as leader, and leader have to write every day a new page of your total book, and have to understand which is your own possibility to do new things, but also how do you learn about your own story, but also of the story of others. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Campbell. As you were sharing those, I think there were 7 of them. And I'm going to try to remember them, because I think a key point that was going through my head as you were sharing them, vision, mission, knowledge, discipline, passion, compassion, and team. And so as I was thinking about what you were sharing, I was thinking, what is the fire that was in your belly that kept you going? And as you shared each one of those 7 different characteristics, I thought, on any given day, if you didn't have all of them, I'm sure there was one that could draw you. So maybe one day it was like, it's just the dream. And all the other pieces, maybe I don't have enough discipline today, maybe I don't have the knowledge, but I have a dream. So I'm going to bleed and press in with the dream. Maybe there were other days where, maybe you didn't have a sense of mission or courage or tiredness, but maybe you were saying, today it's my discipline. My discipline is going to carry me through. Or maybe it was, today I'm thinking not about myself and how I'm tired and how hard it is to sit in these positions where I might be the only Black woman there or the only person of color there, but maybe it's my compassion for others, knowing that in this moment I need to be steadfast because I need to make a difference for others. Can you speak to some of the challenges and maybe how you kept your fire going when it could have been daunting, overwhelming, exhausting, maybe feeling like you weren't even making much progress, but to see that you kept writing your page every day?
Yes. First of all, we have to understand us in our own Black identity, because we are facing different challenge every day. We live in a racist society. We have to understand that our challenges are different from those who don't have this kind of experience in their life. And that means that even if I think in my ancestors and they fight for dignity, we have to fight twice, to your own generation, but more than that, to the other generation. And we have to work hard for our own stability. Because if you're thinking about your journey, your dream, but the most important person are you. Because we need to deal, as you say, with different challenge in different moments. And yes, of course, when I try to understand which is my own journey when I have to face those big challenges. Being a public person is not an easy thing, because the people put in our shoulders all their imagination more than realities, but also they treat you not as a person, You have to be almost perfect, and that is impossible. You have they pretend that all your thoughts have to be engaged with them specifically, and that's impossible. And that's why I really use that sense that you put in here. I'm a very passionate person, and I feel that the sense of justice in my mind, in my soul, it is the energy that I use to continue to walk, because I understand my mission. I'm not here because it is so nice to be part of these people that have power. I'm here because I understood which is my mission. And my mission have to be with my people. And also I understand I'm part of a family, part of a community. But I understand that I have this reality, my Black passport. Because everywhere, the people don't mind if I'm Costa Rican, if I'm from Kenya, from the Caribbean, they treat me as a Black person. Everywhere. And thinking in that, I understand that I have to work for the dignity of the people that I'm part. Because our history is a very injustice history. But we need to make our work in any area. That don't mean that you have to be a politician, don't have to be people from the academia or an activist. Everywhere you could do your own part of the big picture. And in that big picture, you have to put in your mind, what inspired me? This is the question every single morning. And be so grateful because your opportunities, because we need to make a work in our own person. Make the energy as a part of this incredible way that we have to walk. And I feel that, yes, for me, what inspired me, this vision that I have. I feel that it's possible to build a society with equality and dignity for all. And thinking about the experience of my people since hundreds of years ago, and thinking in the childs that are born in this precise moment, and you, of course, that's inspired me to do more things. But the question is, what inspires you to do your work? Where is your passion? Why you understand you as leaders? Which is the change that you want in your life, but also in your community? How you understanding your journey until today? And when you still have new questions, you will have more answers. And that's why I feel that the leadership that you have to build every day, we never stop. All the day and day by day. And yes, you have to put your energy strongly when you feel so bad because the challenge that you are facing. You have to see you in the mirror and promise you again that you will do it again.
I'm going to take a moment to engage our alumni here, our C folks. We have 4. So C has had over 1,000 young people graduate from our programs since we have begun. I believe that number is correct. I'm looking to, yeah, it's more than 1,000. And we have 4 of them here with us today. And so I'm just going to ask you, Dr. Campbell, I'm so sorry. Dr. Campbell.
I love my name also.
Okay.
This is my grandmother name.
Oh, it's a beautiful name. She shared a few things, and each one of you have come through the C program. You've had your journey. There's something that, sparked that in you, whether it was, I think I was speaking with you earlier in your, maybe, I don't know. It may have been, but there was an opportunity that you saw and you grabbed a hold of it, and you now have had this amazing career. You're able to share that with us. And so, is there something that Dr. Epsy has said that resonated with you that can connect into your own journey as you've come through C? So if you could share a little bit about your journey through C and what you're up to now, that would be wonderful. Who would like to begin?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
come on, Denzel.
All right, so So one thing that really resonated with me while listening to that speech is just like, essentially what it came down to is like finding your why, right? Like what makes you tick? What are you going to be passionate about and ambitious about? For me, the reason why I'd say that resonates with me is because what I call myself is a creative nomad, right? So my mission isn't necessarily one specific thing. My mission is multiple things on a creative platform. You know what I mean? So basically what I say this every single time I do a speech here, but like I'm trying to be like Thanos and get all the infinity stones of creativity. Like that's my go-to thing, like whether it's music, film, you know, acting, anything like that, you know? So that's my why. And like, I think the ambition where it really comes from, the reason why I wanna do all these different creative ventures is because I think, you know, everybody wants to be seen in some type of way, and I think one of the easiest ways to be seen is through art, but whatever type of art it is. And I'm kind of honing in on specifically film, and the reason why I think that is because people don't realize how impactful films really are. Like you tell people you're going into the film industry, you're like, ha ha ha, you're crazy. Like, oh, that's like the circus, that's what they call it, right? And you know, I think it sounds a little more goofy than it truly is. Like there's things, we can all reference a movie right now that makes you feel a certain emotion. And you know, some people don't get to feel those emotions in the real world, and interacting with it may change their view on the world. You know what I mean? So I think that's basically what I resonated with. That's my why, is just like, at the end of the day, forget all art, forget everything. It's just communication. I want to be able to like connect with everybody, you know? And there's so many different ways to do that. It's not just talking, but through art is my thing. Yeah.
I guess I'll go next. I don't know if we're going around the circle, but I think for me, the biggest thing that I resonated with, specifically hearing you speak, is your thoughtfulness and your passion. I would resonate with being called passionate as an individual, but I haven't always heard that be the most positive thing for people, especially people who look like us more times than not. So I really did resonate with that and how I navigate this industry, and I navigate being myself and authentic to myself. I also did resonate with your education and literacy. I think that's very, very important, and it's something that I do believe I'm passionate about pursuing and having others pursue as well. So I think those were two of the most impactful things I heard in your speech that really resonated, and I plan on taking with me moving forward.
For me, it was all the steps, all 7 steps. And I'll just sum it up into, you know, my perception that it's all about stepping into your own power as an individual, knowing how powerful you are as a person and how that power could help other people around you. I'll give you a little story about, you know, my journey with CEE. I first started in this VFX program, and literally 2 weeks into the program, my nephew died due to development issues. And, you know, at the time I wanted to give up. You know, it was hard for me and my family. I took a month away from the program. And, you know, I just, at a point, reminded myself why I started the program, what was my purpose. And my purpose, you know, I'm from St. Lucia, born and raised. I came to this country for a better life, you know, in hopes of, you know, breaking a cycle of poverty in my family. And so just, you know, the death of my nephew was, you know, I really had high hopes, because it was one of the reasons why I was doing what I'm doing. And so, you know, that sort of, you know, helped me realize, you know, you can't give up. And, you know, CEE Toronto was a huge pillar, and is still a huge pillar in my life today, in helping me continue to understand my power in hopes of helping other people. And so today I am a visual artist, not only a visual artist, but I mentor youth I teach with the City of Toronto, and I also teach with the Toronto District School Board. And I would say it's one of the best things that is happening in my life right now, being able to give back from what I've learned to youth and, and just see them grow and come into their own power.
Thank you.
I guess I'm next. Thank you so much, Dr. Campbell, for speaking to us and giving us these words of wisdom. What I particularly identified with is you touched on intersectionality in not so many words, in terms of being a Black woman within this society, being a Black woman who has dreams, as all Black women do. As someone who I'm very well aware of my privilege as a man, or a mask-presenting person, but I'm also very well aware of the intersectionalities that I also have as a queer Black man within this society, and how that potentially affects my dreams as well. I'm from Jamaica originally, and I grew up in a fundamentalist Christian home, and all those things could tend to impact how you see yourself, and growing up it creates this sort of thing where you become this other person where it is tangentially related to the actual person that you are, because you have to grow up being this person that everyone expects you to be within this very fundamentalist, Christian, conservative space, when you, and all of that is not happening separately from you understanding that you are not these things that you are supposed to be. Why I wanted to touch on that is primarily because of focusing on the dreams that I do have for myself. I've been able to realize who I am through those dreams, realize that. And I said this the other day too, I was reflecting. It's a bit corny, it's the start of Pride Month, but I was reflecting on stuff, and I was saying that a part of realizing your own dreams is realizing the role that you play in making those dreams possible. So are you hearing me? Okay, sorry. I was saying that the reason why my dreams have now been coming to fruition is majorly because I've been able to develop this level of self-awareness and self-realization that has been guiding me along this path, and C has factored very well into this this phase of my life. At the point that I met C as an organization, or met the people that facilitate these type of programmings, I was still in my corporate job, still trying to figure out how to pivot into being a creative, as opposed to just going to work from 9 to 5 every day, which wasn't something that I was enjoying. And through that, through taking the chance on myself, I was able to realize the dreams that I've been waiting so long for. So all in all, just realizing that intersectionality does play a part in activating or executing your dreams.
Thank you so much. I want to say each of your names because we didn't get an opportunity to introduce you all. So I hope I can remember without looking at my phone. But this is Darnell Beckford, correct? Okay. Zamarla Shannon Joseph, Denzel James, and Tamara Thomas. So we want to make sure that you know their names. These are young people, young adults, aspiring people who are going to make a mark in Canada, make a mark across the globe, and these are names that you should remember. One more question before we leave, and I'll leave a last word to you after this, Dr. Campbell. But for all of you, as you've navigated your careers after CEE, and one of the big things that we do here at CEE is about identity, as Dr. Campbell had spoken about, understanding who we are as Black people in everything that we're doing in the Canadian context, but also in the workforce as we're entering into that. I'm sure that as you guys have left here, gone out into your careers, you have faced challenges. But one, how do you continue to show up, advocate for yourself and others? But also, have you felt or seen any positive, inspiring change as you've launched into the industries that you're in? Two big questions. You can answer part, not all of it. No, whatever your heart.
I would just like to say, for this, I think the self-awareness thing is the key to everything. Regardless of what challenges you're facing, regardless of what space you're going into, the self-awareness is going to change your life. If you are not, if say you go out and you act a certain way, you don't like that about yourself, right? You need to self-reflect and be like, why? Why did I do that? Why did I act out like that? And so on and so forth. And then make that a habit, right? Once you make that a habit, it's easier and easier to dig into your subconscious and find who you truly are at the end of the day. And once you find who you truly are, okay, that's when you get to find your passion. You can't just be like, okay, hey, I want to do this, and then just go do it and hope everything's going to be good, because then you're going to face a challenge, right? So my first time I was on a all-black crew for gripping, they all got fired the first day. And I continued to work on the set because I knew the next people who were coming in. But that was a shock because that was my first day there with that group, and I was so happy, because it was a much more comfortable set than what I was used to. But the thing is I know where I want to be and what I want to do, so I didn't allow that to affect me and be like, oh, they hate us, I'm not coming into work the next day, because also, if I did do that, I don't even know the situation as to why they were fired and all of that. So if I don't know it in myself and I overreact in that situation, now I've just messed up my work for the next little bit. So I just think self-awareness is key. You can't really have a passion without self-awareness, I would just say. And then for you said positives of things in the
Yeah, if you've seen within the industry that you're in,
Mm-hmm.
since you've been there, have you seen anything that you feel like we're moving in the right direction?
Yeah, there's a lot of programs right now. There's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of grants. There's a lot of things that are available, I would say, for Black and Indigenous people right now. And I didn't see as much of this when I was beginning, but now I'm seeing a whole lot more. And all it takes is one shot to get you in, right? I got extremely lucky with CEE. My granddad, just the day before deadline, just randomly said, hey, I spoke it into existence that I wanted to be in film. And then he just randomly blessed me oh, hey, check out CEE. And then here we are 3 years later and 2 different unions later, Yeah, I would just say the positives are just I'm seeing more people who look like me on set now from when I started, and also too I'm seeing there's more opportunities. Just because I'm a grip and a set deck doesn't mean I'm not gonna get a chance to do a prop or do whatever. And that's just because some random Instagram post is saying, hey, Black people this is an opportunity for Black people in order to get onto this set or get with this person, and that person can lead you into the next level of what you're trying to do for film related stuff specifically, you know what I mean? That's all I could speak to for that.
So for my specific program, I'm the second cohort to graduate. So as I mentioned before, I'm starting my career next week. So I can speak on what I've learned in this space and how I plan to take it into the professional corporate space. One thing I really appreciated about CEE, and Dr. Campbell, you had mentioned it, is when you're outside facing, you have this expectation to be perfect, or you are the model representative for people. And I was really appreciative to this space because I was allowed to be my authentic self and ask the stupid questions without feeling like I had to know everything. So I think moving forward, how I plan on carrying the work forward is, one, in being a positive representative in how I present myself, but also reminding people that just because I present myself one way, that doesn't mean I'm a representative of everybody. Everyone can show up as themselves, everyone can be themselves, and we as a community are smart, we are resilient, we are people who are passionate, we are people who are educated, we are people who can do the job, but you have to give us the opportunity. And I'm one to seize the opportunity. I'm one to, walk through the door, take it, and I want to leave the door open for the next person. So I think in being the next cohort to gain employment, I'm looking forward to the next cohort to come after me and for me to be able to pass on any wisdom I learned so that it's easier for the next person. Yeah.
For me, I'm coming from St. Lucia, living in this country in the beginning. It was such a huge cultural shock because all I knew from, growing up in St. Lucia up until when I moved there was black people. I never had to deal with racism. And so when I had to deal with it for the first time, it was a bit hurtful. It was very hurtful, I will tell you, to a point where my heart sort of but I again stepped into my power and realized I deserve to be here, and just like you, we're all born the same human beings and we will leave the same way. I kept that in mind. But for one of the things that I'm seeing now that I'm very proud of that I didn't see growing up in my own country, like I said, I mentor youth now and I teach with the city of Toronto. Recently, I worked on a project with my grade 7 class where we had to do a digital documentary for this book called This is Anti-Racism. And so what we did was we created a backdrop with powerful words, and we did a cutout of images from the book, and just in interacting with them, because they had read the book prior to me coming in to teach them about the art part of it. They were the ones actually educating me about racism, and for me it was just wow, seeing kids at that age be so aware and have that sort of mindset. It was very powerful to me, and I felt very optimistic about the future of us and where we're going with all of this.
Aisha, I'm going to ask you to repeat the first part of the question.
The first part of the question.
Yes, please. Thank you.
The first part of the question was, as you have launched into your career after C, post C, I know that you've probably faced some challenges stepping into your industry. And so how have you advocated for yourself and continued to sort of open those doors for others coming behind you? And do you feel like there is some positive change happening in the industry that you're in towards people of color moving in through those doors, particularly Black people?
I think some of the challenges I primarily faced was as an emerging costume designer / stylist, it was very hard for me to establish what it was that was my value, and how to quantify that, and with that being said, further quantify it and go into this industry that is predominantly ran by white people. So you have to there's always this thing where what you're actually worth, and you're putting it up against and comparing it to what is realistic as someone who is just coming into the industry and Black. So that was one of my first challenges, and what I had to do to kind of empower myself in order to like overcome that was just state what my value is. Because at the end of the day, like, as much as we are forced to compare ourselves to our white counterparts, or people who are not, and sometimes it's not even just like our white counterparts. Sometimes it's other BIPOC, like people who are parts of the BIPOC community, who often get away with, like passing or that sort of thing. So like there are different nuances that come with that. But I just had to like realize my own worth. Another challenge that I thought that I'd like have to face was people tend to have like awful experiences like entering into like the film industry, or like finding teams that like are so supportive. One thing that was like beneficial for me was the fact that there are people that were already like paving the way for me. A little bit of nepotism, not gonna lie, but at the same time, like we are allowed a little bit of nepotism as Black people, because a lot of the times all the opportunities do not favor us. So I had like people who were there to like prep the way for me, and I feel like that's the same sort of energy that I want to like bring into the industry. I love putting people on, but like, and that's the thing too, like within Toronto there's this energy that is almost you're forced to like be in this like crab in a barrel type situation, where like you're made to fight for the opportunities within the city. And at the end of the day, I really don't see the sense in that, because it hinders creativity at the end of the day. But at the same time, like the people who are at the top don't necessarily care about that, because they want the level of creativity to be regurgitated, so that they have a set thing that they have a set formula that they want you to like follow in order to like keep up with that particular aesthetic, that sort of thing. And like I just want to create spaces and create opportunities where people are allowed to be actual creatives and to explore their creativity and their creative expression without having to like fit into a particular mold. An example of this is like I have been like applying to stylist agencies like throughout the city. And one thing I've been hearing is that like it's not like my style of exploring styling is like it's not editorial enough, it's not clean enough to like fit within the mold that they have like already like established. And that makes absolutely no sense to me, because I'm from the school of thought where creative expression is like what you feel and like you put out. So like it cannot be like something that is mass produced or something that is like replicated. It's just something that is like very individual to you. So I want the city to go back to that place, revisit that place, because I know that at one point in time there was that. But I feel like everything is starting to look just like how the city looks downtown now, just gray buildings with condos, no little form of creative expression, no individuality, just like things being replicated. I think I answered your question.
Yes, you did. Well, I want to thank all of you for your participation in this panel with us today. We pivoted a little bit, but you still rose up to what we needed to happen today. So thank you for having this C chat with us. And I look forward to having more conversations with each one of you. Dr. Campbell, last words to you.
Thank you so much. I want to put in the table concept that is going to be so useful. The first one you gave us, self-awareness. The second one you gave us, because when we live in a racist society, they want to see us as an homogeneous people. And we have to confront inside our own communities the issue of discrimination. For example, the issue of the different identities that we face, all the sexual identities and gender identities, is an issue that we have to deal not only in the whole society, but in our own community, in our own families. And that's so important, and that means that we have to work hard, because we are not only face the racism and the discrimination in front of us, only from the others, because we are building, of course, a new community inside of us. Understanding that we are different, we have different backgrounds, we have different nationalities, we have different culture, religion, identity, sexual identities, age, etc. And we have to acknowledge that we have to work hard in this self-awareness, and with that plus self-esteem, because it is obvious that if we face this discrimination in front of us, that means a challenge inside us. And that's why I put in this conversation the sense to build the new communities without discrimination for everyone. The dignity for all is we need to have the right to be who we are. And this is one of the main important challenge in this moment in the society, because we have this big thing in our bodies that is deal with the racism and discrimination, because we are part of the global Africa. We are black people, and the reality that we have to face is so hard, but also we are living in this colonized society that want to understand that we could, that our identities are these simple things that it is not real for most of us. And I really want that put in the last message. We are building something different using arts, and I want to invite you all to be part of the third concert against racism that will be placed in David Picot Square next Sunday, 5 o'clock to 10. We will have a lot using arts as a part to build a new society, using music, educating people via arts and culture. Because I'm leading this organization, the Coalition Against Systemic Racism and for the Reparation. But when we are thinking about the new society, we understand that we will build a society that recognize all of our identities and have respect of us, and non-discrimination for all the people that we are living together in this big tribe. The concert, we will have musician, a singer from Ghana, Rocky Dawuni, and his band. Also a musician from Puerto Rico, William Cepeda, and his band. Also, we will have Les Dames Blanches. She's from France and Cuba. And Boksambu, he's a musician from here and from Haiti. There will be a very important, and Keenan. And Keenan is the headliner. But we will have this amazing opportunity to continue to use our creative part, our part of this, the music as one of the most important tools that we have, but we have arts in all the perspective. And this is a place that you are using arts and creative as a part of to build this new word. I congratulate you. I have new knowledge because you teach me also about your own life, your journey, your perspective. We are learning every day. And the final thing is, look for your dream and never give up. Because if you fight for that thing that you want, you will achieve it, but you have to work. Not hard, but with discipline, with passion, and don't forget never the compassion. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Campbell, for joining us this evening. We believe that we have a shared passion with you, a shared dream with you, and we look forward to continuing to work alongside of you to achieve that goal for our community. Thank you.